John, that was very kind. And the very first thing I would like to do is to please, start by expressing my gratitude and thanks to John Montoro. Over this last fiscal year, John has provided us all with excellence and leadership. And I want to personally thank you for being a good friend and colleague. John, I'm sure you're ready for moments of well-deserved rest, but I did want you to know how grateful we are for your efforts. Thank you, John. I do want you to know that the future is very bright. Colette, I'm very much looking forward to working with this year, and there's great things coming down the pike. So, Colette, this will be a great year, and I very much look forward to a close relationship. One very important lesson I've learned over the years is that life is not about what we get, but about how we can make a difference for others. I believe that each of you are here today because you share a similar belief and passion that is reflected in our daily lives as CPAs. What is truly great about our profession is even though we may work in different areas of accounting, the glue that binds us is our core beliefs and professional standards. Though our efforts may be individual, there is no more powerful way to realize our shared ideals than as members of a greater group, the Virginia Society of CPAs. It is through our work together that we have a profound effect for our profession and society as a whole. Over this next year, you can count on my commitment to work towards providing meaningful benefits to all of the members. These efforts, however, are made much easier by the dedication of the team and the staff that work each day on our behalf, the members and the staff of the Virginia Society of CPAs. Evidence of that dedication and professionalism, as John's mentioned, in the third year in a row, the Virginia Society was named one of the best places to work in Virginia. I've always been dedicated to this profession and understand the importance the profession serves in our communities and for this country as a whole. One of my passions is financial literacy and providing that education to the public. I believe that much of the ills we face as a nation relate to lack of financial education, and we as CPAs can make a big difference in this area. Some of you may have seen me speak at some conferences on financial literacy, and you may have even heard why I became a CPA. I started out early in my career in finance, but recognized that when I was among other business professionals, it was the CPA that brought a great deal of insight and integrity to the business environment. It was through the examples of CPAs like you that I decided to become a CPA myself. I went back to school, completed the requirements to sit for the CPA exam at VCU. At that time, I used to get up every morning between 5 and 7, and I studied until 7, and then I would go work all day in my own company, after which I would then attend night school 3 nights a week. I will be thanking my wife soon about all the things she's done. It took me several years, but I graduated and sat for the exam. Was very fortunate to sit and pass all 4 parts. As a matter of fact, when I received the notice that I passed, I actually got in my car, drove to the Board of Accountancy to ask them if they could please verify that this was indeed correct. They pulled it off of an old thing and said, yes, you did pass, so I felt very good. It has meant a lot to me to be a CPA. I have applied myself to this profession with full passion ever since. I realized very quickly that the best way I could apply myself and learn the professionalism that each of you embody was through my involvement in the Virginia Society of CPAs. At the Virginia Society of CPA Board, we spend a lot of time focusing on our efforts. And my term is the 3rd year of a 3-year strategy that Damon and John put in place, and they said I had to make sure it was completed. But I won't belabor those 4 areas, but advocacy is one. Advocacy is becoming a more and more important thing for all of us CPAs, as we heard this morning from our first speaker. Knowledge, also we want to make sure that we're always innovative in providing the highest quality continuing professional education that enhances our abilities in our profession. And engagement, we want to make sure that we increase and maintain high member engagement. One of the great examples of this is the tax listserv on the new Connect system. It is just amazing to be able to see the shared experiences of all of us, the willingness of all of us to share our experiences for the benefit of ourselves, our profession, and society. And of course, technology is a huge area, and the Virginia Society is dedicated to making sure that we always look for efficiencies through technology. When I look around this room and I see all of you who have served this profession so well, I'm very, very aware that I have very big shoes to fill. Please know that I will dedicate myself with tireless efforts to continue the hard work and excellence of those that have gone before, knowing that I can only accomplish this work with your help and dedication. To each of you in this room, and to those who have served before us, I sincerely thank you and pledge to do my duties with honor, but most importantly, with great humility. I'd like to just provide a few thanks. It's been very important to me to know that as I've walked through life, that I've had someone always by my side. 30 years now, my wife, Terry. Perhaps this is a good time to apologize in advance for this next year, for all the time I'll be doing things. But none of this would have been possible without my wife. Could you stand for just a second, Terry? I also want to thank my two wonderful daughters who bring great joy to this father, Stephanie and Jamie, as well as Brent and Bill, and now a grandchild, Hazel. Stephanie and Jamie, they truly are the apple of my eye and bring great joy to me. I also want to take a moment to thank and recognize the people that I work with every day in my office, sitting right down here today. I believe that real leadership is about providing an environment that allows individuals to be able to achieve their best in our profession as well as our lives. I'm very fortunate to work with some of the brightest and most talented people that you can ever meet. I want to emphasize this because they'll be covering for me a lot this year. To conclude, this year, we as CPAs will continue the work our predecessors have so valiantly performed, John being a great example of that, for the benefit of the members and the people whose lives we impact every day. Because remember, life is not about what we get, but about how we can make a difference for others. I look forward to doing great things with each of you, and again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you and look forward to this new year. Thank you very much. And to start my official duties, my first official duty is to recognize our outgoing board chairs for their outstanding leadership this past year. I know most of you know Brad Nicklin in this room. Brad is just an amazingly witty person, always very funny, but a dedicated professional who has made a dramatic difference. Although we regretfully couldn't be here today, I'd like to recognize Brad Nicklin for his hard work and dedication as the chair of the VSCPA Educational Foundation Board for the past year. He did want me to thank you all for your support of the foundation this past year, and he sends his best wishes to Gerald and the entire foundation board for another great year. I know you'll join me in thanking Brad when you see him for everything he did to elevate the foundation and the profession, and I'm certainly thrilled that he's continuing his leadership on the VSCPA board this year. And John, if you would please come back up. And finally, I have the distinct pleasure of presenting John B. Montoro with his chair's gravel set and frame certificate to thank him for his efforts over the past year as chair of the VSCPA Board of Directors. We appreciate everything you have done for the Virginia Society. You definitely are a hard act to follow. Let me get this for you. This is a signed certificate. Chair of the board, John B. Montoro. This is, and in addition, I have the past chair's pen, and this is a autographed or a signed gavel that perhaps you can use around the house in the future. But it's a very it's a very nice one, and I can set that down for you if you'd like.
Thank you.
And John, if you would like to just say a few words.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.